second type or architecture is the convergent. In this type of arrangement, the fibers are coming from the large area and fibers converge to make the joint more powerful, but it is compromised by reducing the range of movement. Look here, the fibers are coming from a large area, but fibers after moving are converging on a small area. This type of muscles are having reduced range of movement but are more powerful. This type of arrangement is seen in different shapes when these are triangular convergent architecture is seen in adductor longus muscle. A muscle of medial compartment of the thigh, and when this type of arrangement is fan shaped, this is seen in the temporalis muscle. So when this is triangular, this is seen in the adductor longus of the medial compartment of the thigh. When this is fan shaped, this type is seen in the temporalis muscle of the lateral part of the skull, muscle of mastication. When we see this type in the muscle is coming from a large area, and after conversion there is a small or reduced surface area of the insurgent tendon. This type of arrangement is known as the convergent type of the fascicular architecture. The next type is the spiral type. This is also known as twisted. This type of architecture is seen in many muscles of the body. The convergent or spiral architecture is seen in the adductor muscles of the thigh and the trapezius muscle, and this type of pattern is also seen in the muscle of anterior wall of the thorax, that is the pectoralis major muscle. The latissimus dorsi muscle, latissimus dorsi muscle is also having the spiral or twisted pattern of this arrangement, and the supinator muscle. When we see the section of the anterior wall, during this section we can see here is the clavicle. the fibers which are coming from the clavicular part and fibers which are coming from the external part and costal cartilage and the aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle twist like this, and the fibers which are inferior most become the medial most here, like in a U shape sling type of insertion here. So this type where there is twisting or the spiral type of arrangement of fiber in case of some muscles like the trapezius muscle, the pectoralis major, latissimus dorsii and the supinator. This is the pectoralis major muscle. Pecten stands for the chest. So muscle of anterior wall of chest is the pectoralis major, and it is having the twisted architecture of the muscle fiber. The next type is the sphincteric architecture of the parallel muscle fiber. The muscle fibers are parallel but are in a sphincter like this. This is the fissure of the sphincter. Muscle fibers are parallel. So architecture of muscle fiber or fasciculus is parallel, but the fibers are forming a sphincter. This type of arrangement of the muscle fibers is seen in orbicularis, oculi and the orbicularis oris muscles. Oculi, the muscle around the eye, and when this muscle contract, this closes or eye like this, and when this relax, the eyes are opened. In same way, when the orbicularis oris contract, the mouth is closed. When this relax, it is opened. So this type of arrangement, sphincteric arrangement of parallel fibers, is seen in orbicularis oculi and orbicularis oris muscle. The other pattern besides the parallel pattern is the pinnate pattern. The second type is pinnate pattern. Pinnate for the feather. We can see the diagram of the feather. Leaf-like pattern. Feather is having a bar and a handle, and it is also having a central, I can say central tendon in case of muscle, but here we can't say this is the tendon. So this is a feather, and feather-like pattern of muscle is known as pinnate pattern. The pinnate pattern may be unipinnate when there is a single line of the origin of muscle fiber and there is a tendon of attachment, so the oblique fiber running from a single line to the tendon, and this is the comb like pattern or the half feather this is the unipinnate type of pattern, and this type of pattern is seen in extensor digitorum longus muscle. Digitorum longus muscle. This type, that is the unipinnate type of pattern, is also seen in flexor pollicis muscle. Flexor pollicis. This is seen in extensor digitorum longus and flexor pollicis longus, and this type of pattern is also seen in the muscle of leg, that is peroneus tertius. So this type of pattern, that is comb like or the half feather pattern, is seen in the extensor digitorum longus, flexor pollicis longus and peroneus tertius. When there is pattern is like feather, complete feather, that is both sides of the tendon or bar. When the pattern is like this, this is the tendon of insertion. So it is forming a complete feather-like pattern, and this type of pattern is known as bipinnate muscle. This type of pattern, that is the bipinnate, is seen in extensor hallucis longus. This type of pattern is also seen in the dorsal interossei muscle. The ventral interossei muscles are having the unipinnate or half feather-like pattern or comb-shaped pattern, but the dorsal interossei are having the bipinnate pattern of the arrangement of the muscle fasciculi. So extensor hallucis longus and dorsal interossei. Ossei means bone, inter, between two bones. So between two bones of the dorsum are the bipinnate, between two bones in the ventral are unipinnate. The third type of pattern is the multipinnate muscle. When the muscle is traversed by the tendinous sheath from the origin to the insertion, the muscle is divided in different septa. This is the spinal part, scapular part, spinal of scapula, and this is clavicular part, and this is the acromial part of the deltoid. I will draw here the deltoid. This is divided by fibrous septa, the acromial part of the deltoid is multipinnate or arrangement like this. This type of arrangement, multiple feather-like arrangement, is known as multipinnate. This type of arrangement is seen in the deltoid and subscapularis muscle. Deltoid muscle is used for intramuscular injections, upper and outer quadrant. This is the upper and this is the upper and outer quadrant. Here you can see the upper and outer quadrant of the deltoid is used for intramuscular injections. Remember, besides deltoid, gluteus medius is also used for large volume, that is more than 2 ml volume. If it has to inject and volume is larger than 2 ml, 2 milliliter, it should be injected in large muscle. In that case, gluteus medius is used and it is injected in upper and outer quadrant of the gluteal region. The third muscle, which is commonly used for the intramuscular injections, especially in the small children and especially during the vaccination like DPT and the injectable polio or the other intramuscular injections, the anterior lateral, that is anterolateral aspect of mid thigh. In that case, vastus lateralis muscle is used for the intramuscular injection. So remember, if you are a clinician, pediatrician, or if you are a medical student or you have to grow as a doctor, remember always the deltoid, that is upper and outer quadrant, the gluteus medius, upper and outer quadrant of the gluteal region, and the vastus lateralis muscle, that is anterolateral aspect of the mid thigh, where the muscle volume is not well developed in the gluteal region and there are chances of traumatic neuritis. Please use vastus lateralis muscle for injection, that is intramuscular injection. The other type is the circumpinnate muscle. The circumpinnate muscle is seen in tibialis anterior muscle. The circumpinnate is the tibialis anterior, where the fibers are converging in the central tendon from all directions. This is the basic pattern of arrangement of fibers in the circumpinnate muscle, which is seen in the tibialis anterior muscle. So these are the examples and the arrangement of different types of oblique fibers in a pinnate muscle, that is unipinnate, bipinnate, circumpinnate and the multipinnate muscles. Now the classifications or the names of the muscles. There are different ways to classify the muscles, or I can say to the nomenclature of the muscles according to location. Muscles are named according to their location. This is maybe the tibialis anterior. When it is anterior to tibia. The temporalis, when it is in the temporal region. So when it is anterior to tibia, it is tibialis. When it is in the temporal region, it is temporalis. And when it is above the spine of the scapula, it is supraspinatus. When it is below the spine of the scapula, it is infraspinatus. So supraspinatus, infraspinatus. When it is between the two ribs or two costal cartilage, it is known as intercostal. Either it may be external intercostal or internal intercostal or intercostalis intimi muscle. So name of the muscle is according to their location. When it is according to their shape, when the name of muscle is according to their shape, they may be trapezius. When this muscle is trapezoid in shape. When the muscle is rhomboid, it is known as rhomboidus. When it is having jagged shape or serratus, it is known as serratus anterior. It is having serrations. When the muscle is quadrilateral, is it known as quadrilateral? Or known as quadratus. So muscle is named according to their shape. Trapezius when it is trapezoid, rhomboideus when it is rhomboid in shape, serratus anterior when it is jagged shaped or serrations. When it is quadrilateral, it is known as quadratus. When the name is according to their action, many times muscles are named according to their action. Extensor carpi ulnaris, flexor pollicis brevis, extensor carpi radialis. When the muscle is extending the carpal joint, that is the wrist joint, this is extensor carpi, and when this is flexor, that is flexor carpi. So name is given according to their action. When the nomenclature of the muscle is according to the number of the heads, when it is having two heads, it is known as biceps. Ceps means head. When it is having 3 heads, it is known as triceps. When it is having 4 heads, it is known as quadriceps. So name of muscle is according to their heads. When the name of muscle is according to their attachments, these are the sternocleidomastoid. The muscle is attached to the sternum, cleido for the clavicle, and mastoid, that is the mastoid process of the temporal bone. So the muscle is attached to the sternum, the clavicle, and the mastoid process. So muscle is given its name sternocleidomastoid. The other is stylohyoid. When the muscle's name is given by its attachments, that is the styloid process and the hyoid bone, the name is stylohyoid. And when this is the cricothyroid, the name is according to its attachment to the cricoid cartilage and the thyroid cartilage of the larynx. So name is cricothyroid. When the name is given by its direction of fiber, what is the direction of fiber? It is classified according to direction of the fiber. Muscle may be rectus, muscle may be transverse, muscle may be external, oblique. When the fibers are external, that is superficial, and oblique arrangement of fibers. When the name is according to the size of the muscle, it is the criteria is size of muscle, maximus, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. In same way, we can see adductor longus, adductor magnus when it is large, longus when it is long, and adductor brevis when it is small. Longus when it is long, magnus when it is large, and brevis when it is small. So this was about the functioning of the skeletal muscle, the pattern of dark and light band, and the cross striations of the muscle, and the mechanism of action and sarcomere, the arrangement or architecture of muscle fasciculi, and the classification of the skeletal muscles. In my next lecture, I will talk about the nerve supply of the skeletal muscle, motor end plate, what is muscle spindle, and what is tendon and organ in the muscle, and what is the clinical significance of the skeletal muscles.